Using this one word is smothering your inner voice and may have already crushed your confidence. My name is Tasha Skillen. I help people-pleasing perfectionists redesign their life to become the original, brilliant self they were designed to be, connect more deeply with the people they love, and pursue their passions guilt-free. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe now, and then make sure you tap that bell so you know when the next video drops. Words are what make up language. It is how we connect and communicate with one another. It's our primary method of communicating ideas, declaring a statement, asking a question, making a request, and it's essential that we're aware how valuable our words can be. All of our words have a personal history for us specifically. So your words that you're using are developed over the course of time from you accumulating it from other people having conversations, reading books, watching movies, and being in an environment where words were being used. Just like memories have emotions attached to them, which is why you remember them. You don't remember the 654th day that you went to elementary school, but you do remember that trip you took to the Smithsonian, or that time you tripped and ate it getting off of the swings. These are things that you remember because there is an emotion attached to it. There are words that have emotions attached to it as well that we accumulated as children and throughout our childhood and in our community environments that now we carry with us that may not be serving us as well. Your vocabulary contains words with more weight than others, and the important thing is to know that they're not universal. So things that mean something to you when it comes to the word, a word that is incredibly offensive or a word that means something really exciting to you may not carry the same weight with other people because of their history with those words specifically, or lack thereof of that history. Some words are just yours, and if you were to really dig into this, there is probably a stockpile of words from your personal history that would tell a lot of stories and give a lot of insight into where you've learned who to become who you are now and what you've been hiding and covering up over the years. But the point of today's video is to help you understand that there are words that you've adopted over the course of your lifetime that are detrimental to you living your fullest life and actually experiencing the joy and the happiness and the fulfillment that you've been seeking and craving for as long as you can remember. Today we are talking about one of the top 7 words to ditch and reframe as soon as possible. In what situations are you using the word should? We usually use the word should when there's something on our to-do list that we didn't get done throughout the day or the day before or the day before that. And it is something that we feel guilty about when we're reviewing these ideas of what you should and shouldn't do when you are usually laying in bed at night trying to go to sleep. You look through the day of things that didn't get done and you think, oh, I should have done that, I should have done that, this should have gotten done, didn't get this done. And you're making a list of all the things that you didn't get done, which then turns into a list of your failures. As an overachieving perfectionist, your never-ending to-do list is extremely long and it's never going to get done. So you are constantly repeating this pattern for yourself every day, throughout the day, every evening, and almost in every conversation you're having with yourself. When you are using the word should, you are habitually staying in the mindset of perpetual guilt. And no one can do something worthwhile when they're acting and choosing from the position of guilt, of either recovering from it or trying to avoid it. And I get it. It's everywhere. We are constantly bombarded with messaging about what you should do to be a good parent, what you should do as a successful entrepreneur, what you should do, all the messaging from all the directions about what you should do to be healthy. And all of this is just piling on top of each other as we make our to-do lists and as we try to move through our day responding and reacting to all the things we should be doing. It's easy to fall in the trap of running through the list constantly of what you should have done yesterday and the day before and the day before that in all the areas of your life. All the life elements are affected by this overabundance, by this overusage of the word should. And no one feels good when we're using this word. The good news is that you are in charge of how and when you use whatever words you choose to use. So it's just a matter of breaking the habit that you've been using this word for so many years and shifting that word to something else. You can decide to refuse to engage in the shoulding talk for yourself and other people. So what do you say instead? You're no longer allowed to say the word should because it's not empowering. What are you going to use instead? The word could. Super easy, not even a whole new word change, just swapping out a couple letters. Opens up the conversations to possibilities and opportunities. In conversation with your honey, you can say, You could set the alarm a little earlier if you wanted to go to the gym, like you've been saying you wanted to do, instead of you should set the alarm, which is then you telling that person what to do, which is usually not going to be received well. I'm sure a lot of you are saying, yep, that's true. To your kids, you could say, what could you have done yesterday, instead of dropping your backpack on the floor and running out the door to play, helping them create and understand their choices rather than what you should have done. You were wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. Allowing your kids to actually start developing the internal dialogue of what you could have done and what you may have done that would have resulted in taking care of your responsibilities, doing what we agreed on, whatever the conversation may be. In conversations with yourself, this is where the biggest part is. This is where the biggest shift is going to happen. I could go to the gym, or instead of I should have gone to the gym, or I should go to the gym, I could make my own coffee and save that money for the vacation fund. I could schedule that meeting and miss the time to sleep, or I could reschedule the meeting and catch up on my sleep. So we're creating choices for ourselves when we shift out using should no longer and replacing it with could. Could creates a breeding ground for ideas and new choices. These are stepping stones to personal clarity and not falling into the trap of following someone else's rules for living your life. There are over 171,000 words in the English language currently. So don't be lazy with your word choice, you have lots of options. Don't just accept the words and the meanings behind them that were handed to you from other people who were not intentional about their word choice. You can shift your entire daily experience by choosing more empowering words on a more regular basis. The words you choose are creating and reaffirming beliefs that may be limiting you from actually fulfilling the purpose that you've been feeling called and pulled to actually do. When you investigate the words you're using and how you feel when you're using them, you'll be more aware of how you are disempowering yourself and the impact it's having on your confidence and your progress that you're claiming that you're trying to have. You can stop piling layers of shame and guilt for not being enough just by swapping out should for could. Word choice is important. It affects your relationships, it affects your health and your money, your creativity, and your internal perception of yourself. I challenge you to ditch should for could for good and make the shift to empower yourself with the word choices you're using every day. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my Facebook page and Instagram. The links are in here. Don't forget to snag the free download called 7 Phrases to Quit to Live Your Best Life by clicking the link. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already done that. Don't forget to hit the bell so you're the first one to know when the next video drops. Feel free to let me know what came up for you while we were talking about some of these word choices today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.